Hey guys, this is Stephanie Hamley with Hamley Bake Shoppe. Today I'm in my kitchen to show you some of our favorite recipes that we do. On this episode, I'm going to teach you how to ice and decorate a cake. In the description box below, list all the items, recipes, and tools that you'll need to help make this a success. If you have any questions, please comment below and we'd love to chat with you. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Okay, so on our last video, we showed you how to crumb coat a cake. So here we are on the next step. So we have covered our cake in a layer of icing and we have stuck it in the fridge. So I can touch this. This is an American buttercream, so it crusts really nicely. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add one more layer and we're gonna smooth it, and then we're gonna take this off and then do a drip and some sprinkles and all that fun stuff. So I have already whipped up my icing so it's nice and fluffy. And again, we're using the American buttercream. And in the previous episode, I showed you how to, bring the icing just like that against the cake. So we're gonna do the same exact thing. We're just gonna bring it up, and then we're gonna smooth it. And I'm also gonna just touch the very bottom of the turntable. And this will help secure it, keep it from slipping. You can use a sticky pad like we used in the previous episode. But sometimes when you get to this point, you don't want the sticky pad to move. So I just took it off just to kind of show you. So this is a way that you can keep it from sliding around. You can also do just a little dab on the turntable and then put your cake on there. Basically, we're just gluing it to the turntable. And then we're just gonna slide this around. And then we're gonna fill in any areas that, like right there, that's got that gap. So we're just gonna take that and go right down the middle. And our board shifted just a touch. I'm a little OCD about my board. I like it touching or being right in the center. So when I smooth it, it gives me a nice even surface, which it's not, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna just let it be. So again, using our bench scraper, we're not gonna hold it like this. We're not gonna hold it like that. We're gonna hold it straight up and down. So this is gonna touch the two acrylic discs. And the thing is gonna sit right on top of the turntable. And then we're just gonna grab in front and just turn the turntable. I'm not moving my right hand. I'm just leaving it right where it's at. All right, so that's not too bad of a swipe. You can still see there's a lot of like holes and things like that. I'm not too keen on, so I wanna do that one more time. So I'm gonna hold it in the front, bearing in mind not to move my elbow. And I'm just gonna turn this. Okay, now I don't know if you can see that in the video. There's just like a little gap right there. There's a few more. So I'm just gonna take my spatula and then I'm just gonna fill in those little areas that I'm not too happy with. Now the one nice thing about cake is it's cake. It's not the end of the world. If you have a hole or a gap, you can let it be whatever you would like. So if you want it to have, you know, a more inconsistent look, a more rustic, you know, I made this from scratch type thing, then leave those holes, leave all that stuff. We can always add a border and nobody will ever know. And if they're trying to critique you, then tell them to make their own cake next time. All right, so again, I'm gonna do one more swipe. So I kind of filled in just very roughly. I'm gonna put my bench scraper on the, touching the discs, and then I'm gonna grab in front and just bring this around. And then I'm gonna do it one more time because I feel like I've got just a few little spots that could be improved. And you know what? It looks pretty good. I'm gonna do one more swipe. And I think that looks pretty perfect. So you see kind of where when I lifted the bench scraper off, there's a little line. If you are super particular, you can always, you know, just lightly, you know, kind of blend that in. I usually make that the back, and then I don't worry about it. So the top, I'm just gonna scrape all this off. And then we're gonna let this chill for about 10 minutes and then we're gonna take this top off, okay? So before we stick this in the fridge, I just wanna remind you to like and share this episode. So we'll see you back in just a few minutes. Hey guys, so we're back. We let our cake chill. So now we are going to take our cake from our discs and put it on our cake board. So this is gonna be the pretty little display that you're gonna have for all your cakes. So in order for this to stick, we are going to add just a little bit of buttercream to the bottom. This is our top, but we have to take the disc off the bottom to put it on here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over. Let's do this here. And we're gonna take our knife and we're just gonna run it along the edge just to kind of break that seal. I should do this on the turntable and make it a lot easier for myself. All right, so we're gonna put that in the sink. And then we're just gonna take this and then plop it over. So we're good on that. And then I'm just gonna take my bench scraper and just smooth up any little area that I might have messed up trying to flip that thing around. Now you see kind of where I don't know if you can tell on the camera, it got a little bit more roughed up because it had already been chilled. So what you can do in that situation is just get some warm water and just get your knife or your bench scraper just a little warm. And we just want to kind of wipe that off, any excess water. And then we're just going to glide this on there. and then that'll help smooth it out. All right, remember, it's just cake. It's not going into a museum. Okay, so the same method we did for the bottom, we're gonna do for the top. And we're gonna just gently get our knife in here. Now, because we had that parchment, it's gonna come off a lot better. And then, not with a knife, gonna just kind of smooth out some of those edges. And then you can gently just take your parchment and then throw that away. And then if you have any little areas that you need to smooth, you can just get some of your buttercream. Now normally I would probably leave my cake in the fridge, 30 minutes or so. That way it gets a really nice crust on it before I start doing any other details. And the parchment kind of went southward. So we're gonna just fix that. Nothing that a little icing can't fix. And then I'm gonna just take my scraper again and I'm gonna heat it up. Wipe off the excess. And I'm just gonna try to smooth that top out just a touch. All right. So I'm happy with how this looks. I'm just gentle strokes. Okay. So now the next step is we want to do a chocolate drip. So this is going to be a purple drip, and it's going to be real fun. So I have been setting this in some warm water so it's nice and liquefied, and I'll teach you how to make colored icing drip on another video, or chocolate drip, excuse me. So let's see, where's our back? This is our back. So I'm just gonna start and I'm gonna kind of squeeze and let that come down. Well, this is kind of hard doing it this angle. Now you don't want your chocolate too hot or it'll end up melting your icing. So I would probably set your cake in the fridge for probably 10-15 minutes. Make sure the icing is nice and firm before you start doing your chocolate drip. So to get the little real nice drips, just hold it there for a little, like another second. So I'm just coming around and I'm just giving it a nice little squeeze. And sometimes that chocolate wants to not come out. And I have had icing bottles explode on me. It'll end up coming out the sides. That's not fun. All right. Now you can cover the whole top with the chocolate if you'd like. We're just gonna do the edges. And then the next thing we're gonna do is our little plops. And then we're gonna add our sprinkles and it's gonna look beautiful. Okay, so the next thing is for our little things on top. Take your icing bag. And this is an Ateco 845. This is just a nice big star tip. put your tip all the way in the end of the bag. Take your scissors and just right around, just a little bit from the top. Just take your scissors and go around. No measuring, no doing anything weird. And then I turn my bag inside out. And that way I can stick my hand and basically form a cup. Now if you have something tall that you could stick your piping bag into, that would be good. That way it kind of leaves you two hands to work with. But if you don't have that, you can use your hand. So I'm gonna get a nice plop of icing and I'm just gonna stick it in my bag. And I think that's good enough right now. If you fill your bag up too much, then it's hard to work with and it'll hurt your hand. And so then I'm just gonna squeeze from the bottom and just inch it on down. And then I twist. So I hold the bag with like an L. I'll let the twisted part go into that part of my hand. All right, so let's get our knife here. And I'm gonna make a little mark where I want my little plops. And it just helps to do this instead of trying to guess. And it's not perfect, but it'll help. Okay, so then I'm just gonna squeeze and then let go. I'm applying pressure and then I'm going in a counterclockwise motion, and then when I get to the top, I let go, squeezing. So squeeze. When I get where I want, I let go. And I squeeze. Now you can do a border on the bottom if you want. You can just leave it plain. And then we're gonna take our sprinkles. So we just have a mix of the rainbow sprinkles, and then we're just gonna make all these pretty colors and then make a mess as I go. Okay. And then we're just gonna sprinkle on our cupcakes. Sprinkle on our sprinkles. Ooh, pretty. Okay. And you know what? I think I have enough Oreos left over. Maybe not. We're gonna make it work. There you have it. A pretty birthday cake fit for a child or an adult. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We'd love if you took a second and left a comment down below. It really does help with YouTube and getting our videos out for people just like you that want to learn a little bit more about making a cake or making anything sweet for that matter. So in the meantime, bake something sweet.